Good Friday, every morning. Good Friday. Welcome to the Ramble. Woohoo! What a crazy week. What a crazy last couple days. Oh my gosh. Hopefully people aren't glued to the TV, to the YouTube box. And if you are, hopefully you're just picking a couple of things to look at. And hopefully, well, I won't say it. All right. Say hello to Psychic Duck, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. What do you got on your shirt, Danny? What? What do you got on your shirt? Just a goldfish looking like a shark. Yeah. Showing those pearly whites, dear. Never did understand what that song meant, but it's a good one. Mac the Knife. Okay. Squirrel moment, goldfish moment, duck moment, shark moment, all wrapped into one. Let's get into, there's some things that went on last week about, and I mentioned that somebody didn't understand the memorandum of understanding, and his memorandum of understanding, his soul contract. And I was talking about Lindsay when he kind of shifted to another side of what I would call is reality. And so before we jump into the craziness and the politics of it, let's do some energy cards on how to remember, or just get an idea, a trigger point, a memory peg on how to remember our initial soul contracts, initial memorandum of understanding. And the deck that I'm using is Return of Spirit. I haven't used that in a long time. And I'm going to also use my Starseed Oracle deck. So we'll see where that rolls. Where that rolls. I don't know what that means. Okay, Return of Spirit. What are we forgetting? What are we forgetting from our memorandum of understanding that just keeps changing? Okay. Celestial. So I'm thinking, oh, is that why I'm going to be using my Starseed Oracle? Or is it just who was I watching? Diary of a CEO. I really like that channel. He really gets into it. Sometimes it's over my head. But he was interviewing the astrophysicist Neil Tyson deGrasse, and they were talking about aliens being depicted as religious figures, because they all have the space helmets on. My phone is really agreeing with me today. So I don't need that much agreement. So I'll just silence it. So galactic religious figures. Let's pull another one that we get from the Remembering the Return of Spirit. What are we to remember from our soul contracts? And so I like to think when we're up there in heaven land, creator land, and I go, okay, let me read this, and yeah, I'm agreeing to all this stuff. And I'm just this innocent little stardust that goes, yeah, I'm gonna sign up for this. And then I get down here and I go, What the hell? All right. What's the other card? Return of Spirit. What the hell? Commitment. When we sign that memorandum of understanding, it's a commitment. So I think of poor Lindsay. Po Lindsay. And he's going to have to relive a lot of this stuff. You know, for me, when I sign this memorandum of understanding, this soul contract, I want to move on and learn and grow. That poor guy, he's got to come back and do it all again and do it differently. Not that I'm going to get into that right now. And the third one, the return of spirit that we are tapping into more and more, our intuition. So we have to look at things if it's feeling right, if it's, to me, I look at this intuition card and I go into the truth of things, because, and this is going to be something that I'm going to hopefully touch on today, if I can stop talking. It's going to be, how do we, you know, since the government has changed in all of their scientists, all of their numbers that we used to trust, we no longer trust. And there is like, well, I feel like I'm back in the 60s and 70s again. Well, you can't trust the government. And well, now I'm back to that again. Can't trust the government. We have some Dr. Oz quotes coming up. Oy, oy, oy. I got it in an email. Like, bad timing, Oz. Anyway, let's see what our Starseed Oracle deck has to show us. I'm going to drop this down so we can kind of roll a little bit faster with this. What does the Starseed Oracle have to share with us about our memorandum of understanding? I know, I think it's funny that I keep using that. I laugh at myself a lot. Okay, gosh, thank you. Okay, so one of the things that I learned with my Galactic Heritage decks is when we're tapping into spirit in our starseed awareness, that it's not linear. So we can shift things all around, yes? So the very first three cards I got, Celestial, Commitment, and Intuition, so we can switch them around. First one I get is Star Ancestors. Crazy card. My younger brother just goes, hey, you want to go to Egypt? What? Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, Look a Little Deeper. Yikes. So on my other channel, I do have a journey into Egypt, which was one of the more powerful journeys that I think, well, they're powerful in different ways for different people. For me, that was really, really powerful. I had to do it like 3 times, which is probably why it was so powerful. Because as a facilitator, I don't get a lot like I think I should. So I go back and I redo it. All right. The second card we get is Baby Steps. Love this card. This is action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. This is like the Fool card. Just take a baby step. Just do it. Just test the waters out a little bit. And then the other one, I got this with doing a show with Mary yesterday. The 7 Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life, and Expressions. So, I mean, we can shift this up, right? We can bring in our intuition, take baby steps. the commitment of birthing creations, and the celestial hidden secrets that are coming up. So with this energy spread and what I'm hearing that we need to fully step into, however, step in with baby steps, is how we are creating this time on Earth, how we are creating a world that is less prejudicial, has less polarity to it. That's like so hard for me. How do I not go into anger when I hear somebody talking about ICE detentions, when I hear somebody saying it's okay to just kill somebody because they're driving on the street, locking families. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it's like, what do I do? How do I? Baby steps. Baby steps to create a new world of non-polarity. And the Orion system did it, and it happened really, really fast. This is going to happen really fast too. And we're going to go, whoa, look what we were doing. What are we focusing on though? Yeah, that's, to me, that is, because what we focus on, we bring into the planet, into our world. So, that's what I got from my energy cards. 11:52. And I haven't even started the political ramble. And now, 12 o'clock, 12 minutes in, we are starting the political ramble. Yee-haw. Whoa. All right. So, let's get into it. A lot of big news, a lot of craziness this week. So let's get into the big topical news this week. And I wrote it down. The Epstein cover-up. Oh yeah, that's still there. Oh my gosh. You thought I was going to go with Pumpkinhead's election denial. No. Epstein cover-up. To me, that is still one of the big ones. And you see just the lack of sympathy and compassion with these knuckle-headed leaders. Unbelievable. And any Republican that goes along with them, it's like you're just complicit in the same cover-up. Even though they go, hey, we signed this law, Trump signed it, released the files. They didn't. Now they're saying they're gonna put Blanche in as the AG, and he goes, there's nothing else to show. And his meeting with the survivors, oh my God. Here we go. What else is there? And if he gets nominated, if he doesn't get nominated, Trump can keep him in for his whole term. So it doesn't really matter. Grow a spine, you guys. In Susan Collins. And then we get Jay Clayton. What a tool. Okay, let's talk about the other big news. Trump's mental decline. The guy is just, he's lost it. And we need to be talking about this more and more and more. Sleepy Don. Sleepy punky head. Okay. Let's get into the 2020 election was hacked, stolen. Well, if it was, then the 2024 election must say that Kamala won. And here's something, okay, as we get into this. Y'all know where I stand on the stolen election of 2024, Kamala won, and I keep thinking it's coming out. It's coming out. We're attacking Iran's bridges and infrastructure and power plants. Help. Why wouldn't Iran attack our infrastructure and power plants? Help. I live next to a nuclear power plant. They can do it via hack. They don't need to do it via bombs. Our warfare is old school, which I'm kind of happy to see. However, where it goes with the new technology, I just don't like warfare. I'm more of a Lemurian type guy. See, I'm swimming. I'm swimming with Psychic Duck. But, you know, it could get worse with this new warfare, drone warfare, hacking warfare. So that just scares the hell out of me, you know. And then they tried to eliminate the ICC, Rubio is, because they don't want any accountability, because they are all up for charges. Let's, you know, as we ramble, let's take a look at that. The only deck I have on my table right now is the White Newman. And so let's look at accountability. Is the Trump regime and all his minions, are they going to be held to account? Trump's minions. I mean, I took a dose of opium today, and so I'm like, yeah, of course they are. Yeah. I'm like, let's see. Are Trump's minions Rubio, Keg's breath? Which Keg's breath are we talking about? Cash Keg's breath or testosterone Keg's breath? Now they're talking about testosterone therapy? Wait a minute. Wait, isn't that what you do in trans athletes and things like that? Isn't that banned from the Olympics? Oh, he said it's going to be purely voluntary. Okay. Got to go back to my MOU. Help me. All right. Will Pumpkinheads, will this current administration, with all its non-compassionate actors, will they face accountability on this plane of existence? Secrets. We get the Moon card. Let me drop this down. Again, this is the White Newman deck, so the images are a little different. So while these White Newman card images are playing around, and they think, oh yeah, we got this. We're playing. This is easy. Secrets are going to start coming out. But the truth is going to come out. It's being challenged by the Ace of Swords, the new truth. We have a celebration down at the bottom. It's interesting, this Moon card, they're kind of celebrating too, but they're celebrating in a way that's going to bring out secrets. This is somebody that is not on testosterone, and they're all dancing, celebrating. 10 of Cups, and that is my Democratic card. In the past is the Three of Swords being betrayed. Ow, that hurts. Yeah, sorry. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Seven of Pentacles. This is, are they going to receive justice? Yeah, you know, I'm not sure how that plays into things, except you reap what you sow. At the top of the reading is the Reaper, the hard work. But this is the Eight of Pentacles. But in this card, it looks like, that to me looked like a scythe. I think I pronounced that right, but it's not. But it's definitely hard work with the Eight of Pentacles. Internally, a new beginning. Ace of Pentacles, new financial start, new project. We get the Wish card with fish jumping out of the water. Any shark fins on them? Nope. Hopes and fears that we can go back to a different time, a simpler time, an innocent time. And at the top of this is giving and receiving. Are they going to be held to account? You know, this is one of the things that was shot down this week, was Pumpkinhead's saying that he could not be charged for his past IRS discrepancies, he and his family. And a judge shot that down in scathing fashion. Just said, are you kidding? Are you? No, that's not. You can be. You can't do that. Now, he's going to try to do blanket pardons, and that's going to have to be done through the states until we change the law. And what's to say that when we get into a position where we can change the laws, why can't we change the law and say those presidential pardons that you gave, they're non-binding? I know Libby has her theory on how this can all change. And I do want to go back 1 second with all of these things that we're hearing. And I said this in the first spread. We have to look inside for the truth. AI has so much stuff going on. There's a lot of imagery about, Mitch McConnell showing up with Elvis, and I go, oh my gosh, Mitch McConnell, Elvis is alive, and JFK, oh my gosh, they're alive with Mitch, and so I had to really look inside, and I go, I think that might be AI. Really check it out. It's important. Don't spread things that you're not sure is true. Now, Psychic Duck can do it. You betcha, I can do it. But I can't. Psychic Duck can. Here we go. There's going to be money trails, giving and receiving money. We already saw that Trump's teleprompter guy, I don't know who it was, but he was making money in the stock market from what Trump was saying. Okay, that may be coming out. So I think it's the money trail that is going to be hitting them. So if they don't file the right taxes in this state, can't they get them? I think so. Page of Wands. So we have the Page of Wands coming in with some new information. Are they going to be held to account? And they're going to, come on, I can't pick this up. They're going to be moving on to some calmer waters, or we are going to be moving on to some calmer waters. Are they going to be held to account? Are they going to be moving to another country? Probably. But that still means that the international court may get we may give the international court some teeth to act on this. Let's just throw that real quick. Are we going to be able to give the international courts some teeth? Feels like a pendulum question. Or in the future, are we going to give the international court some teeth to actually do something like they did in the Nuremberg trials? 3 cards. Whew. Yes. Moving on from the stagnant, yes. And the 2 of Wands. Something coming to fruition in time, a rebirth of energy with this snake card. So yeah. I think so. Cool. All right, let's get into some of the other things that I had talked about. Wildfire smoke. Yikes, yikes, yikes. For you people in dealing with smoke, if you need to clear some energy, I recommend some of this stuff. I'm not recommending any brand, but some Palo Santo if you can. Yes. This is, what is this? This is white sage and lavender. I have another one that is Palo Santo, and I like to get them in glass. And then my favorite woo-woo shop in Morro Bay gifted me this when I went in there. That's very nice. And that is the, I can't remember, hippie, I don't know. I can't remember. Shame on me. I am a bad person to promote other things, even to promote me. Nonetheless, wildfire smokes. If you don't have an air purifier and you're going, they're too expensive, I can't afford one. If you go to the if you have a box fan that are relatively cheap, but if you already have one and you can put an one of the air filters for your furnace, get one of those pleated ones and tape it to the front of the fan or the back of the fan so that it has to pull, the fan has to pull air through the filter. That will help. And, get a good one that'll, hopefully clear out some smoke. Yeah, it's brutal. Brutal. When we had our big smoke event that lasted for 2 weeks from the wildfires in Canada coming down, it was in Oregon. We were lucky enough that we went out and got a couple of air purifiers. So, really important. All right. Did I apologize to Canada yet? Oh my God. These fires are because we're not taking climate change seriously in the U.S. I mean, certain people are. I hope to think that I am. I could probably do more. I have to look at my memorandum of understanding. What did I put in there? That I would really take care of the earth, or that I would sort of do it? I don't know. I got to go back and look. I think it was I really am going to take care of the earth as much as I can. I might need to come back and fix that. Anyway, so, if we don't get our shit together with climate change, and I think we will when we get new administration in there, when we get rid of this crazy guy in there. Got an article from Joyce Vance after Pumpkinhead talked about the stolen election. And it was a thing on Joe Pesci on My Cousin Vinny. He gets up there and he's talking about, he just hears the prosecutor go through all this thing about why his nephew was guilty. This whole thing. Or maybe his cousin, I don't know. My cousin Vinny, probably a cousin. And so Joe Pesci gets up there, adjusts his tie, and he goes, everything that guy said was bullshit. Thank you. And then he goes and sits down. Oh, what a great, funny movie. I didn't think I was going to like it that much. It was hysterical. Okay, speaking of everything they say is bullshit, I got an email from Medicare, and it said, stay healthy with Dr. Oz. And I had a little cough. Bullshit. That kind of cough. Stay healthy with RFK Jr. Bullshit. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. All right. So Doge cut so many people from the CDC and from, what does Dr. Oz do? He, besides another TV fake medical doctor. I mean, he would flip-flop all the time depending on who paid him. Anyway, so we can't trust any of the government. How bad is that gonna? How soon will we be able to get trust in the government? I'm gonna pull this one. This is my new standby that I've been using now for a while, so I like this. Tarot Grand Lux. It really follows the Rider-Waite imagery a lot better than some of my newer decks that are just gray. All right. How is our lack in trust with the government agencies? Are we going to have more? And this just goes back to, you just can't look at one thing and say, oh, they're wrong. You have to look at both sides. This is kind of where AI comes in good. You can put in, is what is true about this statement, and then put in the opposite. What is false about this statement? So play both sides of it, and then you have to make up your own mind. Grab your pendulum. There is somebody was doing finger testing. You know, is this true? Is this false? You can put maybe a word of what they're saying. Is Taco Bell, are they responsible for this parasitic outbreak? Taco Bell? I go, I don't think so. I haven't eaten Taco Bell. Then again, I don't have the parasite. However, my wife, too much information, does, and some neighbor, a friend of hers did, and I know the friend of hers does not eat Taco Bell. Guaranteed. Not that Taco Bell used to be like, smoke a joint late night, go get Taco Bell. I didn't. I heard from a friend they did that. All right, so we have to learn techniques so that we can derive the truth from all of this misinformation that's out there. Okay, so how is this, are we going to get this lack of trust in the government and the lack of government scientists that were employed by the government? How is that going to affect us? And I know it's a wide-ranging thing. So I'm talking about weather. There's 2 hurricanes coming up the Pacific coast. One looks like it was veering towards Hawaii. I don't think it's going to hit there. They didn't say it would. And maybe it was too early and not strong enough. And then another one right behind it. And I'm like, hurricanes in the Pacific already? I'm sure it's going to hit the monsoon, give some monsoonal energy to Texas, as if they need it. Okay. What are we looking at because we are not getting information ahead of schedule? For example, they're taking out all the ocean buoys that sense temperature. Why? Because they don't want to admit climate change. Wonder if Trump is going to be going, God dang it, it's smoky up here. Okay. Pretty good ramble so far. I haven't gotten to any big topics. Okay, how is this going to affect us? The lack of professionals in our government, scientists, that give us heads up on certain things that will affect us. And that includes weather, finance, health. That was where we started. How bad is it going to be? How good is it going to be? 7 of Swords. They are stealing information. They are not giving us the full thing. So the 7 of Swords, this guy walks into camp and he takes 5 swords, leaving the camp defenseless. We are defenseless in these things that are coming out at us. But we have us standing together, the 2 of Cups. It really feels like information like this, where we go, trust your instincts, stay together with your community, help your community out, because it isn't the government. At the base of the reading is the 4 of Swords. This is my minor arcana death card. This is illness. This is retreat. Be careful. Hopes in the past. We had a good time in the past. And I'm not saying it's perfect in the past, but it was more cheerful. Let me drop this down. So, as some of you have said, hey, are you cheating in tarot? Yes. Okay. Oh, here we go. At the top of the reading, it's the Emperor. How is this going to affect us? This 7 of Swords energy where they're leaving us defenseless. The Emperor is overshadowing all of this. In the potential near future is the King of Coins. Both cards here for Pumpkinhead. It's money, money, money. It's the grift. But how is this going to affect us? It just feels like it's going to affect the king with money. I'm confused, cards. Why did you send me this King of Coins in the potential near future? Well, let's just see. I might need to pull some clarity on that. We'll see internal and external position. Internal, okay, well, that may make sense because he's walking away to find oneself. How is this emperor government? What's happening with this? They're walking, well, and our scientists are walking away too. The devil energy. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry, there it is. The devil energy. Being manipulated. So far I'm getting confusion. How is this going to affect us? We're being manipulated. Somebody's walking away. The sword of truth is in the hopes and fears. And a new emotional start is in the outcome card, with something coming from overseas. The Three of Wands, some kind of, is it a new beginning? With the Nine of Coins, I'm seeing a little bit of this Nine of Coins is not getting out of her little garden so much. But this is about trusting your intuition. So this is a little confusing because I'm not sure what is going on with the Emperor and the King of Coins in this spread. Why? Because they're the ones that did this, right? The Pumpkinhead did it along with Muskie, and they're all manipulating us in the external position. So a little clarity on this King of Coins, please. Five of Wands. This Five of Wands card normally would indicate, a lot of battling, a lot of back and forth, but this is more of, you have different points of view, let's blend them together. Even though we're at odds, we can blend them together, which maybe it's external scientists that are coming together to give us some kind of truth. The Hermit, walking away to find oneself. That's what the Hermit does as well. And then you have the Six of Wands coming in as a winner. So. Is that Mark Cuban? So here we have the Emperor, Pumpkinhead, and in the potential near future, could this be Mark Cuban, somebody that has a lot of money, that is saying, hey, we need to finance our scientists better, because he's doing that with his drug company? Drug company? Okay. We get a new emotional start, I think, from overseas, and I think this is going to be, it's not a tower moment by any means with this Nine of Pentacles, but it really feels like, pay attention to your outside, your home, and trust your intuition. Do you want to be around big crowds? I mean, right now that parasite does not, it's not contagious. It's not airborne. So, at least as far as I know. So it feels like you've got to do your own research on this. Okay, let's lift this up. Oh, gotta hurry up. Gotta hurry up. I got so much to talk to right now. The high tea department, Kegseth. Oh my God. A mandatory annual testosterone deficiency screening program for the U.S. military. I look at this guy's face, in a picture, and he's always frowning and scowling, trying to be tough. And I'm like, you're... Oh. So if a service member tests low, receiving testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, will be completely voluntary. That is such... I got to go with Joe Pesci on this. Everything he just said is bullshit. Okay. So let's go to the other fine upstanding head of the FBI, Kash Patel. Why is he investigating Lindsay? Why are they there? These guys are all conspiracy theorists until they don't want to be. I mean, Patel was all over the Epstein files. Release, release, release. And now he's part of the moon card on that. Right? It's like, I'm not releasing those secrets. So, yeah. All right. Couple of things. I'm just mentioning that. A couple of things that really were big, and I may need to do a separate video on this. And if I do, I'll do it today. The House passes a bill to make daylight saving permanent. Pumpkinhead talked about this. He said he would sign it. And I'm going, oh my God, I would love not to switch the clocks. The reason that the government did this, and Heather Cox Richardson talked about this yesterday, and I go, hey, you're stealing my stuff. I already pulled this. But I'm a giver, so I let her talk first. She has a good thing on time and why we have standardized time. And she used that in a different way that I was going to use that, because she used it as factories. You need to be in the factory at a certain time to do your work. And if you stayed at home, they would go, what, are you working? As if mothers and women who stayed at home that managed the household were not working. This is a huge shift in awareness for our younger people, because they don't look at work the same way that the Midwest work ethic was all about. Get up at 8 and go to work till 8, work a good solid 12 hours. And then they started, knocking down the work hours. Let's have some fun, That was all union. But if it was the people in charge, they would say, no, you work 12 hours a day. All you do is work for me. It's enslavement. That's all it is. The young people today are not doing that. And if you looked at other people who were dropping into their spiritual side more, they didn't have a schedule that they worked. Spiritual seekers, artists, they tapped into the energy of the soul. They tapped into their memorandum of understanding. And it wasn't about working a certain number of hours a day. Okay. Daylight savings. Now, there are some people that say, oh, it needs to be kept at this time. And then others say, oh, no, it needs to be kept at another time. I don't really care. Personally, I go, just stop it. Just leave it one time. Other people will have their disagreements. And while we're talking about disagreements, when it comes to, there's going to be a lot of disagreement on who, should we have a progressive, should we have a more moderate Democrat in the House in our seats? Whoever is in there, support them, please. The money situation that is going on right now in our election, Democrats are out raising Republicans by a huge margin in most races. The Democratic problem with this is, according to the New York Times, which kind of surprised me, was that Republicans have a huge amount of money at their disposal with the Republican National Convention, RNCC, and the Supreme Court just said, yeah, you can dole out that money. So now the Republicans can make it easier to buy cheaper ad time. So much that needs to be changed with that. Daylight savings. I'm going to do 2 videos today. Because I'm getting in there. Daylight savings time. Is Pumpkinhead going to sign it? Or is he going to be unalive by the time this gets to his desk? Don't ask me why I thought that. Will daylight savings be on Pumpkinhead's desk to sign? This would be cool. Going back to a simpler time. That's also his dementia card. Tower. So it can be on his desk. I'm not getting a real clear answer because I got 2 dementia cards here. And I got the tower, so I'm saying, oh no. And they just quickly keep going down. Will it? Let me drop it down. So we have the 6 of Cups, the Tower, the 7 of Cups. Simpler time, illusion, delusion. Going back to, everything's beautiful. There is a restriction with the 8 of Swords, but there's balance coming up. So that's a yes card, but that's a no card. And then we get the 3 of Wands. And you see the ship back there. And this ship is doing air travel as well. It's in the clouds. So is there an issue with the way transportation works? Why they got it, time zones and daylight savings and this and that. A lot of it stemmed from the railroad, why you got certain time zones, because you couldn't have trains smashing into each other on the train tracks. When you're in an airplane, you can hopefully move around other airplanes because you're not on a track. However, because we have messed up our air traffic controllers and reduced the meteorologists and all that stuff, we're still not out of the woods. Will they... Okay, White Newman. It feels like yes and no. 5 of Pentacles, no. 8 of Swords, no. The World card, completion, possible yes. Okay, so I'm not getting a really clear answer on that. We will see. You can write your Congress people. Andy Burham. Hang on. Burham. He has been officially confirmed as a new leader of the Government Labor Party. So for all you people on the other side of the pond, I don't know much about him. I did a quick search. He is not one to massage what Pumpkinhead says. He goes, hell no, where the other one was trying to, you know, so many of the international community was at a point of going, let's just smooth this dementia person. Let's just keep things as calm as we can with this guy, because this guy does have a lot of power. So let's just be nice to him. And this guy says no. Kind of like Italy. Kind of like she's going, oh, hell no now. So, Andy, over in England, how's that going to work out for you? What's his name again? Andy Burham. Andy Burham. You know it's going to be rocky over there in England, but how is that going to work for you? For the world energy. How is that going to work on the world energy for you? Three cards, and yeah, it's going to be rocky. Ooh, dang. Abuse of power. How's that going to work? The world. I'm going to do a full spread on this because he is going to be battling the abuse of power on the world stage, is what I got. So who's doing the abuse of power? Psychic Duck knows. All right. Andy Burham. How is it going to go for you in your tenure as the PM? How is that going to go for you battling this abuse of power on the world stage? Because I think he was a mayor or something. Let me drop this down. Page of Swords. So he's a fighter. And if he was a mayor, he's a small town guy that kind of knows how to wield a sword. Okay. Moving on. He's going to change the direction of something. New financial project, new projects. And maybe he'll get back, you know, that Brexit thing was just such a nightmare. And they're still suffering from that, I hear. So maybe he's going to shift gears and change that up. In the past is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is, I don't know, does he have the ability in past? No, I think this is Stalmer. Kind of, okay. At the top of the reading, we have the Ten of Coins. It's a lot about finance, getting things back in order again for him. Yeah, Queen of Coins. And I think that this is bringing England back. We have, certainly is, Page of Coins. The Empress, abundance, bringing it back to full abundance. Hopes and fears is that he doesn't need to carry a big stick, or that this battling with the Five of Wands that I got before isn't, you know, this isn't going to grow into 5, but it's just a new passion coming forward. And maybe, you know, sometimes it could be all passion and no growth, but there is growth here. So I would say he's bringing a passion to this. Ooh. And the final outcome is him being knocked down, but not out. This could be England being knocked down, right? Not out. And now with the new guy in there, things are going to start rolling. We get the Queen of Cups, a new emotional start. And you know, whenever I throw this card, you know what I'm thinking? That the 2020 elections were rigged and stolen. And if they were rigged and stolen, then Kamala won in 2024. Okay, thank you. And then we get a partnership coming together. I don't know, I'm getting chills when I'm talking about Kamala and a partnership with England coming together. You guys can throw on that. What do you think? I kind of like it. I kind of like it. And I can't help to think, I know I'm going a little over my hour limit, but I can't help to think that if Pumpkinhead really wants us to dig into this, where's Psychic Duck? Where'd you go? There I am. Thank you. Thanks. I was hidden. Yeah. I can't help to think that if they really dig into it, that they will find the election was stolen in 2024. There is no evidence of 2020 stolen. The information that Pumpkinhead gave as evidence proved that Russia interfered, not China. China did a little bit, but not to the degree that they wanted to change the outcome. Russia wanted to change the outcome. So if they really start digging into it, then they're going to look into Elon Musk and how things are going to go into the tabulators. And the other thing that just irritates the hell out of me is that Dominion can't sue Pumpkinhead for slander. And I'm like, because of that damn Supreme Court. Oh, everything that Supreme Court said, bullshit. Psychic Duck, you have anything else you want to say? Nope, that's it. Good ramble. Thank you, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love, everybody. Bye.